Welcome back to another video. This video is going to be a bit mixed matched. It's not like particularly going to be on one bit because I'm getting closer and closer now to finishing the car. My brother's not doing the wiring anymore. I've had to get someone in to do it. His name is Wired by Wilson. I'll leave all of his details in the description below. You might even see some clips in this video of him doing a little bit of wiring. Originally I was going to be using the loom that come with his car. Sorry, it didn't come with his car, but it was an RS2000 loom. I already started to cut it, but when he come around to have a look at the car, he said he'd rather make a loom from scratch. He think it'd be a bit more fitting to the car. It'd just look better overall, and it's a bit easier for him to make because I'm having quite a lot of my loom tucked. I'm going to be off work while he does it, so I'm going to be helping out here and there and hopefully learning a bit. But yeah, as I said, there might be a few clips of us doing some bits. Other than that, if you watched the last video, you would have seen when I started the engine for the first time. It's a bit hard to tell in a video, but there was a misfire. That's now been sorted. It was a setting on the ECU, but the problem I'm having now is the injectors are running at 100% duty when it's idling, so it's obviously going to be no good when it's actually on the road and starting to get mapped. I've been onto a rear-wheel drive Duratec World on Facebook, which is a really good group. I'm always on there for anything to do with this conversion. There's a lot of very informative people on there. I was recommended to use either Mark 1 Focus RS injectors, I think, which were 440cc, or ST170, which was the cheaper option, and obviously there's plenty about, and they're 315, but apparently they flow for around 250 brake, so I opted out for them. I've already got the rail off, got the injectors out, and started messing around with it, and I thought, yeah, 2-minute job, I'll just change the injectors over. And obviously, as usual, nothing's the same. So on the right, these are the normal Duratec injectors. On the left, these are the ST170, and the plug is different. So now I've got to repin the plugs. I've already done one here. I'm starting to do this one. This is the first time I've done this. It's pretty awkward to do. And as you can see the difference in the plugs here. The one on the left is the new for the ST170, and these are for the Duratec. I'm going to come back once I've done that. Then I'm going to run it up. I've got all fluids in it now, all water, oil, box oils in. And I've got my prop on, didn't bother recording it because it's straightforward. I had my clutch and flywheel set up in the air, and it seems to engage in gear all right and actually turn over. So as soon as I've got these all done, I'm going to come back and get it running. I've got all the injectors changed over. I put the wrong boot on this one, so I'm going to have to de-pin it and then change it to one of these boots because it's going to aggravate. Right, so after changing the injectors, I've changed the oil, I've run it up. I had it firing on 4. But we think that the throttle bodies are possibly out of balance. That's something I can't do. And then I lost spark on a cylinder, and then I lost it on a different cylinder. So at the minute, I'm giving up with that, and I'm going to let the mapper sort it out. On to a more positive note, we've had a delivery from Colin at Creative Aluminium Fabrications. This is my oil catch can he's made with an AN fitting and ventilation at the top. This is him here, Creative Aluminium Fabrications. A link to his Facebook and his pages in the description. Big thanks to him because we spent probably 3 weeks going back and forth, me designing things in cardboard, Mr. Pink helping me do that, and also drawing it up in CAD so it's a little bit easier for Colin to read. He actually made me one, and my measurements were wrong, so he just took it back and made me another one. So really big thanks to him, mate. Highly recommended. It's such a good product for someone actually not seeing the car and just going off some drawings. 2 M6 captive nuts in the bottom because I wanted it to look like it was floating. I don't like when they've got brackets coming off and then bolted through the bulkhead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this in and we see how it looks, and then I can finally order up my AN fitting and get it linked up onto my AirTech baffle plate on the side of the block. So that's it all fitted. We actually designed this to be the same height as the reservoirs. I'm really happy with how this has come out, and he was at a very reasonable price. So if anyone needs any work, definitely get in touch with Colin at Creative Aluminium Fabrications. Now this is just a test fit because I've got a spare 90 here, but I think I'm going to do a 45, so I sort of come down here. And then it's very hard to see, but I've got AirTech baffle plate down. That's instead of running the standard plastic PVC pipe that they have. Once again, big thanks to Colin, big thanks to Mr. Pink for helping me design that and drawing it up on CAD. And if you need any work, definitely look at his page. I will link it all in the description. Alright, so David's been over and he's still here. This is the start of the new loom he's going to make. So we've got the headlights, indicators. I think this is for the fan. This is the other headlight indicator, obviously. It's all temporarily run down here and through here. I will, or David will, re-wrap it in the sheave stuff that I've used throughout the rest of the car. That's the front loom wrapped. Right. I think these are the headlights and indicators. Alternator. Don't know what that is. But we've drilled some holes in the front panel up here so I can hide it and run it all along here instead of having it down along the anti-roll bar where it normally goes. Right, so obviously before putting my grill on, I need to put the headlight bowls in. I did put these in a dishwasher, but they've cleaned up not very well. I'll probably go over them before I put them in, but yeah, I'm going to get them in next. Then I'm going to get grill on, and then I'm going to decide what lights I want to put in it, because I've got 2 or 3 sets. I've got some of them clear ones and some of the original halogen H4 ones, or Lucas H4, whatever they're called. So you would have seen the headlight bowl in the last clip. So I bought a reproduction one, that one's in, the normal standard one's in. I said earlier about headlights. I have got these original H4 Lucas ones, but they're a bit shitty and they're not going to be very bright. So I've got some of these crystal clear ones. These are actually for a Mark 1, but I'm going to drill them out and put them in anyway. I've got the original grommets, and then I'm going to get them in. I'm going to get the grill on, and it should look a little bit more complete. That's the first one drilled out with a grommet put in. I think it actually ended up being a 17mm drill bit to do that. So I'll get this one in first, see what it looks like, and then I'll drill the other one out. So that's the first one in and done. That bolt there is actually temporary. The spring that was on it was no good, so I'm probably have to get another spring for it. Just going to crack on with the other side, the reproduction side. That's the grill on. Obviously you can't really see it too well there. Right, so I think a couple of weeks have passed since the last clip where I said about the wiring and I was messing around with the headlights. It's been Christmas, it's New Year's Day today, nothing's open, so I'm going to try and crack on with a few other bits. Firstly, David Wilson from Wired by Wilson has finished making me a loom. He sort of used little bits of the original loom for like the indicator stalks and things like that, and then made the rest of the loom custom, which I'm just going to show you over now quickly before I tuck it all up. So the dashboard actually had to be integrated into the column to make sure that the indicators and everything works on the dash. You got like, we've got the indicators, we've got 4-beam high beams and all that. Then over here you can see the fuse board, which looks like a mess at the minute, but it's actually not that bad. It's just the excess wires on the floor making it look bad. So what I am going to do is I'm going to get everything tucked up, everything bolted back in, like the fuse board, the ECU and that, and then I'll show you how it all lights up and how it all works. So yeah, like I said in the other clip, as you can see, we're a bit messy. I've got to bolt my ECU back up, I've got to bolt my fuse box back up there, I've got to hide a couple of these, I've got to do a couple of earths. I've cleaned the floor out. If you've got an Escort yourself, you'll know there's like a front to rear connector. David kindly converted them to these push-on plugs, so they're a bit easier to use, and they link in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get all this up, hidden, and then I'm going to show you what it's like. I'm not going to show you every step of the way because I'm going to be laying upside down for most of it, so I'm not about to get the camera in anyway, so I'll come back to it. Right, so I'm a little off halfway, or probably a little bit past halfway from the TidyUp. Looking a lot better up there. I've had to cable tie a lot of stuff up. This is the front to rear loom which I showed you earlier. I need to rewrap this, and I'm going to drill these P-clips out and then put one big large P-clip, hide them all underneath so it looks nice and tidy. This would have been it before, all 3 of them. And that's it done. All nice and in one line now, so it looks nice and tucked. My heater here, and luckily I've got a pair of these that vent straight up and out of here, which I need them on the window anyway, because obviously I've got plastic windows. Test fitted them and they do go in. I'm not going to bother doing them right till the very end. I've still got a little bit of wiring to do over the dash side, or tidying it up at least. Then I'll get all of that in and hopefully it all fits. So next I'm going to do my wheel speed sensor for my dash, because I'm running an electronic dash. The sensor that comes with the aim dash, little plug and little sensor. This is the little magnet that the sensor reads. I think this is a little M4 thread, I'm not sure what this thread is. So originally I just bought like a generic Mk2 Escort wheel speed sensor bracket, but as you can see it is definitely the wrong size. So what I'm probably going to do is drill it in around here or here, which will make it sit either here or here on a disc. So I'm going to drill and tap the small M4 thread and Loctite it into the disc. Not sure how far it's got to sit, but first thing I'm going to do is drill that out, get the tap in this, see it on there. Then I'm going to adjust it to what distance it actually needs to be to get the correct reading. I'm going to show you what I've done off camera with the wheel speed sensor. Drill and tapped my disc to M4 by 0.7. Now this is my wheel speed sensor with the locking that on it. When it passes, really small magnetic force, it's going to read the RPMs from how fast the disc is turning. That works anyway, and now I'll show you what I've done on the car. So yeah, what will happen is I'll put my little wheel speed sensor through here, lock it off on the front and the back. I'm pretty sure it's got to be between 0.7 of a mil and 2 mil away from the sensor pad to get a correct reading. So that side, the thickness of this washer will probably be sweet. I will measure it before, but I think that's about 1.5 mil. So the next thing to do is get this wire with this plug on it up there inside the car and connected up to a wire on the back of my dash, which is not actually in it at the minute, but there's a plug on the back of my dash I need to go to. So what I'll be doing is I'll be running it all under here, bringing it out here. That's it all run up there. I've cable tied it around my brake line, a little bit of slack, and goes up there through a little grommet up here, very difficult to see, and then I'm just gonna tie it up under the dash. That's the hub, disc and caliper back on there. Now I've just got to do the inside. And I bought a pair of these C-pillar trims from Motorsport Tools. I did have a single genuine, but I couldn't find another and I wanted 2 fresh ones, so I just went ahead and bought the pair. I think they were 50 quid. So I'm going to get them on. That's the clips in, and the other side I'm going to put a rivet in first and then I'll screw them in after. So that's the first one on. Instead of using the normal little black screws, countersunk screws, I've used the little black countersunk cap heads. Just the countersunk Allen keys that I use everywhere. As you can see, I've got a couple down there, and I've also got some on my dash. So that's it with the grill on. For some reason, we've got one side light stuck on, but we'll have to sort that out. And then that's normal beam, and I think that's main. Right, so that is going to be the end of this video. Sorry if the clips look like they're a bit out of place. This again is filmed over a few weeks. I think the last video I released was nearly 2 months ago. The reason for that is I was waiting on a lot of bits, and then Christmas came. I didn't get too much time on it. I lost a little bit of motivation, but I'm back on it now, and I also spent a little bit of time on the Mark 1 Fiesta actually. But I'm back on it now, and we're cracking on. Once this episode goes live, the next one's going to be going live within another week or two. As you can see, we're getting very close to the finish line, and it's getting exciting. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you to everyone who subscribes. Thank you to everyone that buys merchandise. Over Christmas, we sold a decent amount of the new design. If you want to look at that, that's www.retrostance.co.uk. I'll leave the Facebook page for Colin at Creative Aluminium Fabrications in the description below. The link for our group, our Facebook page, Instagram, and our website also in the description below. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and consider subscribing. Thanks.